these new rules mean is the former Premier League referee, our friend Dermot Gallagher joins us. Hello, Dermot Gallagher.
Hi, Andy. How you doing?
I'm great. You sound like you're at the bottom of a tunnel.
No.
Are you all right?
Home.
All right, sound like you're stuck down a well. Listen, before we get your view on all the new rule changes, Benty slagged you off earlier on.
Don't you dare.
Saying that the reason the All-Star game went to penalties was because you couldn't count.
Well, I think there was a
He's falling down the well.
Couldn't count, Andy.
Dermot, sorry, we can't hear you again, Derm.
How's that?
Oh, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Go on, what were you saying?
There was a number of people who couldn't count. I mean, I was told the score was 17-17, then I was told it was all... In the end, I gave up. I left it to the scorer, and I think he had his shoes and socks off and didn't know.
Dermot, I thought you did a wonderful job, so don't listen to anything that
Oh,
Andy
God
said.
bless you, Darren.
I thought you did a wonderful job.
Yeah, go to
Thank you.
the app, listen again, you'll hear him slag you off. Now, listen, can you briefly summarise the main changes to the rules this coming season?
Well, I don't think that changes the rules, Andy. I think what they've done, they've came out with a little bit of a tightening up on things. You know, there's going to be more time added for certain things. They want more playing time is the big thing, isn't it? And in the old days, it was like almost like 30 seconds per goal. And then as we've seen in the last few seasons, the celebrations take far, far longer than that. I watched the game yesterday on Sky, and by the time the ball went in the net, the time they kicked off, it was 1 minute 23.
Wow.
Well, you know, you're talking an awful lot of difference there. It was interesting. The referees obviously stuck very hard and fast to it over the weekend because in the Championship, there was only 2 games with less than 10 minutes added time, and one of them was 9:55, and the other one was Middlesbrough-Millwall, where there's only 1 goal. And to the other extreme, Andy, we had Northampton Town, who had 22 minutes played over, 8 in the first half and 14 in the second. You know, I see the Charity Shield, the Community Shield as it's called now, 11 minutes in the second half were played, 8 put up, but don't forget, Thomas Partey and Saka had a head injury which took 3.5 minutes. So again, that extends it. And I think that's where they're more robust is in the past it was 30 seconds for a substitution, 30 seconds for a goal, and a minute for an injury. And people didn't realise it was taking far in excess of that.
Dermot, do you think it's going to be a case then with these new kind of, as you said, they're clamping down more on not so much a rule change, but they're implementing what they should do? Is this something we're going to see all season? Because I'm pretty sure in previous seasons they've come up with new rules and new things at the start, and then after a couple of weeks it kind of goes out the window. Is this something they're going to stick with from now till the end of the season?
Well, I hope so, Darren, because we all want to see more playing time. And towards the end of last season, when they started producing graphics of matches where the ball was in play something like 46, 48 minutes, and you think, there's never going to be 90, we know that. But you've got to be getting much closer to 70 than you have to 45. Everybody knows that. You know, we accept there's going to be time lost through balls going out for goal kicks, corners and such like. But when you see 30 seconds added on for a goal and it's taken 1 minute 23 to restart, when you see 30 seconds for a substitution, and there was one in stoppage time yesterday at Sunderland, which took over a minute and a half, you know, you're losing an awful lot of time that can be played. You know, injuries as well. You know, injuries was almost like 30 seconds to a minute. The one at Wembley yesterday took over 3 minutes. You know, that's an awful lot of time that adds up throughout the game.
Derm, one of the rules changes, if you want to call them changes, I noticed yesterday was if a player goes off injured, he's got to wait 30 seconds before he can come on again. And that is to prevent or try and prevent people faking injuries. So they now know that if they're going to fake one, their team's going to be down to 10 men for an extra 30 seconds or so. Do you think that's going to work? Do you think that's going to cut out time wasting?
I do. And I think, as Darren will tell you, it's not only the time wasting or time lost, Andy, because it's when you're chasing the game, the last thing you want is interruptions.
Yeah.
And if a player suddenly goes down injured, it's not that the referee won't add that time on. It's the tempo is lost. And Darren will tell you, you just want the ball in play, you want to get going. So if it forces a player not to go down scurrilously, it's got to be a good thing.
Another rule, you spoke about the time wasting that used to infuriate me, is goalkeepers get the ball, and it used to be that it had to be out of their hands. Was it 10 seconds?
I think 6, wasn't it?
Or 6 seconds, but we know that goalkeepers nowadays is never 6 seconds. It's usually closer to 15, 20 seconds that they release the ball. Is that something where referees are going to clamp down on, maybe book some of these goalkeepers for doing it?
Well, I saw a few goalkeepers have done it at the weekend, Darren, and I think that's all part of the thing, isn't it? And this isn't the referees that have decided this. This is the stakeholders. Everybody has bought into this, and everybody said, you know, we've let the game slip a little bit too far. And the time element is judged by, as you say, Darren, a lot of things. It's the injuries that we've been lax on, if you like, as referees, the stoppages. And the goalkeeper, without doubt, you're absolutely right. Goalkeepers wasted so much time. And I noticed goalkeepers were being yellow carded at the weekend. In the Sunderland Ipswich game, the Ipswich goalkeeper, they were hanging on 2-1. He delayed and he got yellow card straight away. I often think when I watch a game that if a goalkeeper pushes luck and pushes luck and pushes luck and then he gets yellow card in the 88th minute, it's not a big punishment because he's actually won the battle, hasn't he? But with a referee going in earlier now, it sends out that message of deterrent. And I think it's not just in that game, it's for the forthcoming games, isn't it? People think, I can't get away with that now like I used to.
Yeah.
There was, I'm just trying to find it, was it over 60 yellow cards in the Championship? Alone. Is that the sign of things to come, do you think? Are we going to get used to that number every week?
Well, again, I talk about, deterrent rather than punishment, Andy. I think some of them will come as they weren't yellow carded last season for that. But what will happen very quickly, that will permeate through, is that's not acceptable. And I think that's what I'd like to see, Andy, is short-term pain for long-term gain.
Okay. Is that the title of your new DVD that's coming out as well, Dan? Do you think we're only years away from sin bins in football?
Difficult to say because I'm not convinced of sin bins. I mean, Darren will play. Darren will tell you when you're playing at the top level, the speed is so frenetic that to put a player out for 10 minutes, how do you keep him, up to that speed? How do you get him back into the game to that speed? It's a very, very difficult thing to do in practice.
Yeah. Okay. You got one left?
Ben? Yeah. I just wanted to know, have you spoke to anyone from any clubs? How have they reacted to it?
I haven't because obviously I watch the games every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's a matter of seeing what permeates out. I did see the interview with Pep, and he's saying about the time, we've got to get used to it, and I think that's how it is. I think people will have to get used to it, and I think what coaches, players, and managers will have to do is work out how they can adapt to it. What can they do, to get the players playing longer, because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on, and good to hear from you. If you get stuck down that well, just give us a shout, all right? There you go. I'll see you soon, pal. Thanks, man.
Take care, Andy.
You too. There you go, wonderful Dermot Gallagher, former Premier League referee. My views on it are, Benty, that he said there that from the goal going into kickoff was 1 minute 23. Yeah. For me, that's just part of football, right? Yeah, there've been so many rule changes in the beautiful game, the game we love, right? From when I was a kid watching it, I know I'm older than you, but I remember when goalkeepers were allowed to pick the ball up, bounce it twice, and
kick it. Yeah.
Okay, right. And all these rule changes, I don't now look at the Premier League and think the football I'm getting is so much better than the football I was getting in the 80s.
Do you know what? There are a couple of things that I think, it sped the game up. The one where the goalkeeper puts it down, pass it to the defender, they pass it back to him, and he can pick it up.
Yeah, but then he would be booting it 70 or 80 yards.
Yeah.
So, within 20 seconds, it's in the...
Still, but no, do you know what? I can understand...
I don't want 100-minute matches.
I don't mind that. I get it. If I was a player welfare, I understand that. But you start going down the leagues, League One, League Two, these boys, and again, what they're earning is not peanuts, but in the context of Premier League players, it's nothing. Yeah. Right? I don't mind the 100-minute games, the 100-minute matches, because if I go to watch a football match, I don't want to see the ball out of play. 48 minutes of football is not good enough. Okay,
what about away fans that, if you're going to have 15, 20 minutes added on, they're going to miss their trains? Well,
then listen, the railway companies, Avanti and these Great Northwestern Railway, whatever they're called, they need to pull their finger out and work with maybe the Premier League to ensure this doesn't happen. Okay. You can't. They're not isolated incidents. You know what I mean? The rail companies, certainly match days, depend on football fans. Yeah. So they've got to come to some kind of arrangement. I like
together. Sorry for speaking of it. I like the yellow cards. I like that. Arteta's one of these managers constantly out of his technical area, and I think you've got to clamp down on that. 60 over the weekend in the Championship alone. I don't know if that's too many.
I like the goalkeeper stuff as well, because goalkeepers wind me up when they catch the ball and they drop down for no reason. Yeah. Start booking them, man, early, 2 minutes in.
It's an interesting point you made about the old carrying the ball for 6 seconds or whatever.
No referee ever clamps down on it, ever.
We're going to put it out to you lot. What do you think the football fans will be saying? Do you think they'll like it or they'll be against it?
I think you'll get some that are for it, because, of course, if you're a paying football fan, you want to watch more football. You don't want to go and pay all your hard-earned money that you've earned throughout the week, and then you go to watch a game and the ball's never in play because time wasted and all that nonsense. So I think football fans will be in favour of it. But I think the whole away fans, like Ipswich travelling back from Sunderland, that is a journey and a half, that.
What it's going to do is going to stop sides like Newcastle. There are others, by the way. I'm not picking on Newcastle.
I've got a raw issue with them because when they came to the Emirates last season,
they do start.
Minute 1.
Okay.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.